Who's ready for my winter collection for 2026? Hey guys, I'm Tracy. I craft here at Country Charm by Tracy. I'm so blessed that you're here. Guys, I wanted to put some winter decor together to add to my shop. And so I wanted to give some inspiration. If you are a creator, a crafter, and make and sell your items as well, I wanted to give that inspiration to you. Now, I will have some finished items available. You can click on the store tab here on YouTube, see what I have available, or you can go over to my website, which is my shop at countrycharmbytracy.shopify.com. Guys, I appreciate your support, and let's go ahead and get in today's video. For this project, I'm using this wood fence sign that I picked up from Walmart. I've had it on hand for a while. It is about a quarter of an inch thick. It measures 12 by 15 inches, and I absolutely love how it has the fence look to it. And so, just so that it's not quite so white, I just took my Kiehl's dark wax and just went over that. Then to kind of seal that in, I just took my spray adhesive and some glitter and just went over that just to give it the frosty winter look that I'm going for. Then for the wreath, I picked up this pine twig wreath over at Hobby Lobby. Also, I picked up the icy greenery with the faux berries. I had some pit berries on hand. I'm also using these ice skates. Now, guys, I've had these on hand for a few years. They're actually ornaments. So I'm glad to share this because, Hobby Lobby right now has, because at the time of this video, they have their stuff, it's just right after Christmas. So we're heading into winter. And so that this is my winter collection for 2026. And so the wintry skates had just a little discoloration on the heels of them. So I just took my vintage photo distress ink and I'm just rubbing it over the skates to give it the rustic look. And so then everything just ties in together. Now, what I'm going to do is attach the greenery twig wreath to the sign, just using some white floral wire. And then I just make my curly cues, kind of like a 2-in-1, just kind of just curl that up and make it look like it's part of the sign. Then I just snipped off some of the greenery and just added that greenery in there, just kind of glued it and tuck it into that kind of wreath. It's like a grapevine wreath base. Then I added some pit berries and some excelsior. Then I just added some of these frosty branches and I just snipped some of those off and just tucked those in there, gluing where I needed to. But mostly I just tucked everything together. Then I'm going to add the ice skates and I just kind of, had them at different levels and so that they hang really, really nice. And then I am just absolutely in love with this sign. I'm just so happy the way that it is turning out. Now I'm going to be putting a bow right there at the top, and I just did Oh, before I do the bow, I would tell you about these curly cues. Now, I've had these on hand for a few years. I think I got these at Walmart. And so I just stuck some of those in this arrangement, and I think it just all ties in together. Now, for the bow, what I did is just something that I usually do, just some fabric strips and some homespun. I also added some just some white ribbon that I had on hand. I'm going to be putting a rusty snowflake in the middle and just tie all of that together. And this sign just absolutely is amazing. I love it so much. And for the hanger, I just added some of that 4-ply jute rope. Made sure that that was glued on there really cute. And just to kind of camouflage those, I just took two of more rusty snowflakes and just glued those to where the little rope meets, and then it all ties in together. Alrighty, let's paint up this sweet wood guy into a primitive country snowman. Now, guys, I just kind of sharing here with you. These are all the pieces that I'm going to be painting up. First, I'm going to be using some antique wax and put that on all of the pieces because I'm going to be doing the chippy technique. And so what that means is that I go ahead and give it some antique wax. Then I use a tea light candle, rub over the antique wax. Then I put the top coat of the color that I want to be on top. Then I take my little sander and just sand off a little bit of where that candle wax is, and it kind of exposes the brown underneath it and gives me that rustic country look that I like. So for the snowman face, I'm using a buttermilk by Dixie Belle. It is my favorite snowman color for this season. I'm also giving it the snowflakes the same color. I just used black for the hat and the hat brim. I used canyon orange for the carrot nose. And then for the heart, I used maroon for the top coats for my snowman. Then once my paint is completely dry, then I take my gator sander and just sand off a little bit of that and exposes a little bit of that rustic chippy look underneath. Now, when I am doing a face, what I like to do is kind of position where my pieces go so that I can kind of know where I'm working. And so then I just have this little, I don't know, wispy brush that I got from Dollar Tree. And so I'm using some coral paint and just adding the cheeks there to my sweet primitive country snowman. I like the more rectangle cheeks up and down. And then now I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to put the eyes, and I'll just make my sweet little eyes that kind of goes along with my style. And friends, if you're watching this and you're like, I want to try my hand at painting one of those myself, I have some information in the description box of where you can get your own wood snowman. If you, it's great for like, to do like a little paint party, maybe a girls' night, maybe a group of ladies in the neighborhood, uh, nursing home, church groups, all of that kind of thing. And also, it has the shipping included in the price of the snowman. And so I will have the my affiliate link in the description box of where you can find out more information. As I say, the beauty is in the details, and I love adding a lot of different details to my painting projects. And so I use a flat paintbrush and some milk chocolate paint. I dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in water, and then I just blend there on that blue paper towel. And then that just gives me the shading that I like, especially for my sweet little snowman here. And then I'll just go around all of the little characters, the part of his face and all of that kind of thing. And if I get a little bit too much, then I just take a baby wipe and wipe off what I can. So then I take my black Sharpie marker and just add more, kind of cuteness. It's just kind of my style, what I like to do. And I'm so fortunate and thankful that a lot of you love it as well. Guys, I will have this guy as long as he's available in my shop at countrycharmbytracy.shopify.com. Also, you can click on the store tab here on YouTube to see what I have available. I'm so appreciative that so many friends love the creations that I'm doing, and y'all are buying things at my shop. And I love seeing your names come through, some new friends and some longtime friends. And I'm so appreciative of you. So, guys, to glue all of the pieces down for this little guy, I'm using Stick Fast Glue. I get that off of Amazon, and it is absolutely my favorite. Now, guys, you can see here that I have a second piece that goes to this snowman, and it's because it can be a little bit thicker. And so, again, can use this as a shelf sitter, as a wreath attachment, as just something to lean against a mantle or a fireplace. And so I just absolutely love this guy. This is the only one I have at the moment, but I may go ahead and order more of these kits and have them available in my shop. Again, you can check my store tab to see what I have currently available, and or you can go over to countrycharmbytracy.shopify.com, and I do appreciate your support and all of your sweet and kind comments. also just adding a sweet rusted jingle bell because we all got to have those sweet jingle bells to our projects. And then I made him a sweet little tag that says "Winter friends are best." I had some of these little tags on hand. I think I picked these up at Hobby Lobby, my favorite store. And so I think he just ties in together. And I am so in love with him. So tempted to keep him for myself, but I know that some friend is going to snatch him up really quick because y'all are always, I get received messages and comments all of the time about my painted projects, my hand painted projects. And so I'm so happy that the Lord has given me an avenue to be able to give that to y'all. All right, guys, let's get into the next project. Friends are loving the signs that I'm offering in my shop over at Country Charm by Tracy.shopify.com. And so I'm trying to find more ideas to include some signs for my shop. So I had some of these 12 by 12 wood canvases on hand. I got them off of Amazon. And so what I'm going to do is create a winter scene using some scrapbook paper as well as some of the transfers from Essential Stencil. Guys, I love those transfers. They're almost look hand painted, and I kind of, add my whimsical touches to them and just kick them up a notch. So what I did here is I have this ticking scrapbook paper that I had on hand, and I just Mod Podged that to the back of the canvas. And so then I'm going to go ahead and use this cozy winter cuddles using this vintage scrapbook paper to add as the background. I'm going to be doing a dimensional piece using a piece of foam board for my house to sit on. For the kind of scene that I'm doing, I'm using some of the forest trees, and I'm going to be adding some different embellishments like just some sparkly glitter by Tulip. I like to use that, and then it just adds a bit of shimmer for my project. So my square that I cut out was a little tad big, so I ended up cutting that down and repainting it into a darker green that is pine green, and it matched my scrapbook paper a little bit better. I used the Mod Podge heat transfer method just by adhering my paper to my square, just using my mini Cricut mini heat press, and then I'm going to attach my decal. And guys, make sure what I do is make sure that there is no Mod Podge or anything on my scrapbook paper because my decal, my rub-on transfer will not adhere to that part of it. So I'm just using my transfer tool by Essential Stencil. And guys, I will have my link in the description box if you want to see what transfers. I absolutely love working with these transfers. They're so high end and they are so colorful and they just almost look hand painted. So what I like to do is kick it up a notch and just add a little bit of dark wax to my little pictures here, and then also add some like glitter paint, either with stickles, just different color stickles, or this one I will put it on the screen. The one I'm using, I think it's by Tulip, and it's like a glitter sparkle. And so I love that because it just really adds a little bit of sparkle to my house and then also my trees. I love hand lettering, and I have, as I say, practice makes perfect. And it has taken me several years, many years, to kind of figure out my style of how I want to do my words and that kind of thing. And so the happy dots with by doing the letters and just putting the happy dots on the edges has kind of become something that I'm known for. I by no means am saying that I'm the creator of it. It's just something that I have been doing for many, many years, even way back, gosh, oldest son is going to be 29 in a few days next week, and I started my first craft show when I was pregnant with him. So nearly 30 years ago, I was doing this. And I just kind of like this look and like this style, and so I'm so fortunate that a lot of friends do as well. And so I'm going to start incorporating more of my hand lettering, my hand painted things in my shop because I am going to be offering something that you can't buy in the store. Yes, you can find signs, you can find all of this stuff, but can you really find a Tracy original? And so I just want to stay true to myself and continue to lean on the Lord and have him guide me if this is what he wants me to do. He's given me all these gifts and talents, and I want to share them with you and also have a spot for those of you that live in the United States. I can ship it to you. I may see if I can branch out into the other outside, but right now, I mean, shipping is just really expensive, and so I just have to kind of keep it into the United States. All right, so then I'm going to be making a bow for my little thing. Actually, I made a swag just out of greenery and all of that good stuff. And so just making on my larger bow dabra, just using some fabric, some sisal grass, and just tying everything together with some green floral wire. Then I take this, I don't know, I guess it's about a 1/2 inch ribbon, and then I'm going to be making a fun kind of center ribbon for that. Then I discovered that my white muslin was a little too white, so I just took my vintage photo distress ink and just kind of gave it a little bit of darkness to that. Then just using my little stapler, just stapling everything for the greenery. Then I added some iced branches, and then also I'm going to be adding a rusty snowflake to the middle of the bow, and I'm just absolutely in love with this. These are my blue jean pockets with a snowman theme with it. Now, I found these in my stash, and these are like Lee brand jeans. They kind of have like two pockets in one. Not quite sure where I got them from. Again, so many friends and family members had shared their jeans that were no longer, wearable or that kind of thing. They shared them with me. And so I just cut off the pockets, and then I have a stash of pockets. And if you're unsure how to cut off a pocket from blue jeans, I will leave a link in the description box below of how I cut the pockets off. It's not very hard, and there's no sewing involved. You actually just cut it from the jean. And so I'm just going to paint up this sweet little snowman pocket here. I started out with white paint, but then later on I switched to Buttermilk by Dixie Belle, and I just love the little bit of just softness that it's not so white or so stark for my snowman pocket. So, friends, I hope that I'm just giving you some inspiration to paint up and kind of think outside of the box when it comes to old, tattered jeans and that kind of thing. So, what I'm going to do is start painting Let It Snow here with my flat paintbrush. And then this is a paint. It's taken me many years to kind of learn how to paint, and I still struggle a little bit when I don't do it. It's kind of like that saying that says if you don't use it you lose it, and so I can really tell when I have not painted in a while, and so I'm like, okay, this one's not working too good, so I switched to my black Sharpie marker, and then so I have one of them that is hand painted with the paintbrush, and then one that I hand lettered with my marker, and I just thickened up the letters just a little bit. And so I love doing it both ways. My preference is painting with a flat paintbrush, and so I do love doing that. Then also now I'm just going to be making the checkerboard pattern all the way around. Well, it's not really a checkerboard; it's kind of like a stripe pattern, just using a flat paintbrush. And so then I'm going to be painting up the snowman and all of my cute little rustic touches. And so just adding my shading, I'll be showing you the difference if kind of like what I like. And so I am here to encourage you, to inspire you to create things for craft shows, for gifts, for things that you want to make. And then also, I will have these available in my shop. You can click on the store tab on YouTube on my main page to see what I have available, or you can go to countrycharmedbytracy.shopify.com and see what I have available for at the time when you're visiting. For the mouth for the snowman, I'm using my dotting tools. I got these off of Amazon. I'll have a link for them in the description box if that's something that you're interested in. And so I love them because it has like, I think 8 or 10 in there, and they have different sizes on them. And so I just, use them for so many different things. You can also use the end of a pencil or a paintbrush, but you're kind of limited to the size. And so these are just really very fun to use right now. So as you can see here, one I have already shaded and then the other one is not. So you can see by just adding some shading or some, just different details. As I say, guys, that beauty is in the details. And so just by adding a lot of those little details, really just brings out your painted project or any project that you're working on. And so again, I have been painting for many, many years. And so I don't want you to get discouraged if you say, I can't paint like you, or I can't. You're not supposed to paint like me. It has taken me a long time to learn how to paint like this. I say this with all the love in my heart. Yours is not going to look like mine. And honestly, if you were to have paint something, mine is not going to look like yours, and it's not supposed to be. That is what the Lord has made us all individual. And again, I say that with all the love in my heart, only to encourage you just to keep trying. That's what I did. I really wanted to learn how to paint and do, kind of find my style, and I did. And so I'm so fortunate that a lot of friends love this style as well. And if you're like, I don't want to paint that, I just want to buy that. Well, you can do that too. You can click on the store tab on my main channel at here on YouTube and see what I have available at the time of your visit. Or you can go to countrycharmedbytracy.shopify.com and see what I have available, because I am limited. I hand make everything. And so once it sells out, I'm not going to restock it maybe until next year, that kind of thing. But then I'll move on to the next season. And I'm so happy and blessed that you are here. Gonna add some snowflakes, just using some white puffy paint, just this little dimensional paint here, just making some snowflakes there. And then once that's dried, then I'm going to add some sparkle with my Gorilla spray adhesive and my glitter. Just add some sparkle to that. Then for a hanger, I just use strips of homespun fabric and then just tie that in a knot. And then I glue those on the ends, and then I just use my little clamps just to hold those for a while so that it sets up really nicely. Then to kind of decorate my pocket, I just pulled out some pine greenery. I have some, little snowballs, some little snowflakes, some ice branches, that kind of thing. But always I try to sign the back of my painted projects or my handmade projects. And so that is something that I've always done, and I'll continue to do that. And so again, I just love how this turned out. I just stuck all of those, all the frosty, wintry stuff in the pockets and then just made these look so cute. Guys, these can carry you all the way through the winter season, through Valentine's Day up until when spring starts. Alrighty, for this project, I am painting up and creating some little signs. Those are pretty popular in my shop this season, and so I wanted to get several of them added to my shop at countrycharmedbytracy.shopify.com. And I thought that it would be great if you want to see my process of how I create these so that you can, if you are a reseller on Etsy, or if you do craft shows, or if you want to make something like this for gifts, or maybe something like this for your own home. And so that's the purpose of this, is just to kind of share my process to get some inventory and stock in my shop, and then also provide some inspiration. So if there's something that I'm doing, a technique that I'm doing that you're unsure about, just leave me a comment and I will explain to you exactly what I'm doing. All right, so I'm using the beautiful rub-on transfers, the cozy winter cuddles, as well as the winter woodland friends. I'm using some of those from that. And then I'm just painting these up using a lot of the techniques, again, that I like to do for my projects. If you don't know what I'm doing, just leave me a comment and I'll be happy to answer. So, if you are new to working with rub on transfers, I'll just give a few tips that I've learned along the way. First of all, Essential Stencil has the most amazing, high quality, high end looking rub on transfers, and they come in a variety of different seasons and holidays and just different. Decor throughout the year. I'll have my ambassador link in the description box to see which ones they have available. Unfortunately, they do sell out very quickly, so that's why I do share a lot of like the new stuff that comes out, and I share my link. Always, my discount code is CC by Tracy 10 to get an additional 10% off your even if stuff is on sale, they give the additional 10% off. And so a lot of friends do take advantage of that, and I'm so appreciative. And so, just real quick, I'm just using my transfer tool just to layer up and just, give me the different scene that I want to go on these little blocks. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and add a little bit of, depth and dimension by using my Kills Dark Wax. I like to use the glitter paint just to add a little bit of shimmer to each of the projects. I add some Black Sharpie marker, and then also all of the fun things that I love to do. Then once I'm finished with the face of my little block here, then I'm going to go ahead and glue it. And I just use my stick fast glue just to adhere all of that. And these are optional. You could absolutely do another picture on the back and make them two-sided so that you can have a picture on one side and have another one on the other side. Just to add a little bit of depth and dimension, I just use my dark wax and just a little brush that I have and just go around some of the edges just to give it, just to kind of bring it out a little bit more. Then I'm going to be these front pieces, I'm going to be gluing those to the back pieces, and just using my stick fast glue. I just go ahead and make sure that they are all even. I just use my clips just to keep them all together while they dry completely. And so then I'm going to go ahead and make like to embellish the top. What I'm going to do is be adding some greenery berries that I had on hand. I'm also going to be adding just a bow, just using my bow dabra, my little mini bow dabra, and then a lot of different just little embellishments here, some homespun fabric. I'm using some, tan fabric, some muslin fabric, and then also going to be using some baby's breath that I got at Hobby Lobby in their faux florals. And it kind of comes in different colors. This one is kind of like a ivory or a beige color that I'm using. And I thought it went well with this winter theme that I have going on here. On a couple of the cardinal blocks, I added some red and white pip berries. I thought that just kind of brought out those cardinals on those. And here is the finished blocks. As long as they're available, you can click on my store tab here on YouTube on my main channel, or you can check these out at countrycharmedbytracy.shopify.com. And again, I do appreciate your support, and I hope that you're getting some inspiration to create some for yourself, or if you make and sell them, or if you want to create them for gifts. I'm using one of these wood pallet trees from Hobby Lobby from their Christmas section, but I am turning my tree into a winter theme so that someone can keep it up all winter long, and that is through Valentine's Day before spring starts. And these winter uh, rub-on transfers from Essential Stencil has so many different just winter pines and critters, and just has all of these fun, beautiful pictures, decals, rub-on transfers, snowy trees, pine cones with snow, and all of that stuff. So I'm just figuring out different ones that I am going want to attach here to my little tree, and then I'm just going to kind of take my time, and I go through and I just figure out what scene I want. And I just use my transfer tool and then the paper just to burnish it on and just make my snowy scene here. And again, I will have this one as well as any other projects that I'm doing here in this winter collection in my shop over at countrycharmedbytracy.shopify.com. I will also have it available if you click on the store tab on my YouTube channel. That will share what I have available at the time of when you're watching this video. And I do appreciate your support of all of my craftiness. For the bottom of my tree on the stand, I'm just making a swag. And so I just made a swag just using different greeneries and just frosted, pine and all of that kind of stuff. Also added some pip berries, and then I used a rusty snowflake for the top, and then tied on a raffia bow there to the top. And I absolutely love this, guys. This is a one of a kind. I probably will not make this again because it's so detailed, but I absolutely love how it turned out, and I love working with these wood trees because they're so versatile, and we can just change them up for any decor and any season. And that's a wrap. I appreciate you watching my winter collection for 2026 to see what products I have available. If you're interested, you can click on the store tab here on YouTube, or head over to my blog or my website at countrycharmedbytracy.shopify.com. I appreciate your support. God bless you. Happy New Year, and we'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.